When it comes to cell phones, what do you typically think about? If you're team Android, you might be thinking about something like a Samsung Galaxy S21. And then if you're an iOS user, you're probably thinking about something like the iPhone 12. But when it comes to Sony's been struggling in an uphill battle when it comes to the mobile space, which is highly competitive because you have all these options and everyone is constantly innovating. But can Sony keep up with the competition, and how do they stack up? Let's find out. When I recorded this video, it was much longer than expected, so I broke this into two different parts. The first video talks about why I was considering switching to a Sony phone, and then the next video talks about the Xperia 5 II more in detail. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Lights and Buttons, and in today's video, we will be talking about the Sony Xperia 5 II, which I have here in my hand. I've picked this up back in December of 2020, so I've been using it for about a month or maybe just over a month now, and I want to give you my thoughts and opinions about this phone. But before I dive into the details, let's talk a little bit about Sony. When it comes to Sony, I have high expectations for their phones because they have a great potential to make an awesome product. Well, when you think of Sony, you might be thinking about different things. You know, what comes to mind? Well, they make TVs, so they play into the video space. They're also into audio, so you might have their headphones, their speakers. They also play into the entertainment space, right? Perhaps one of their most well-known products is the PlayStation. They also make cameras. They make all kinds of stuff, so they have this plethora of knowledge that they can put into a mobile device. Now, in order to do that, they have to have something that's cost-effective, compact, and also work well together, which, you know, is easier said than done. Now, my first phone was a Samsung Galaxy S3, and before that, I had BlackBerry phones, so I had the Curve and then finally the Bold. But we all know what happened with BlackBerry, so we're not going to really get into that. But around 2012, picked up the Samsung Galaxy S3, really liked it. Then I moved on to the Samsung Galaxy S5, and also really liked that. Both phones had headphone jacks, rectangular screens, which I guess I can't believe I'm saying this today, but those are two features that are very difficult to find on modern phones. And then not only that, the S5 was waterproof, and you have a removable battery, which was pretty amazing because, you know, if the battery goes bad after a while, you can just swap it out. Now with the S8 Plus, I feel like the quality went uphill and downhill kind of at the same time, depending on what you're looking at, right? So in terms of processing power, it did go up, but in terms of the quality control of the physical buttons, I feel like Samsung could have improved with that. Now, in the past, I made a video on how the buttons got stuck, and this was maybe after a couple of months. I can't exactly remember, after owning the phone, and the physical buttons start to get stuck to the point where if you're trying to increase or decrease the volume, it'll just go to the max or min because the button just kind of held down even though you let go. And after I made the video, people made comments about their S9 and I guess the S9 Plus having the same issue, but I was a little bit disappointed with my S8 Plus, even though it had more processing power, but the quality of the buttons, I was pretty shocked. That, in my opinion, isn't really a good look for Samsung. Now fast forward to 2020, it's time to get a new phone, and I decided that I wanted to stick with the Android phones. Now, what I did was I started to do some research. I really geeked out and made a giant spreadsheet on Google Sheets, and it was a weighted score chart that compares a list of phones that I had in my mind along with the features I was looking for. Now, I'm not trying to sell you any phone in this video, right? This is just a video about me and my experience with the Xperia 5 II. I'm not trying to say you should buy it or not 100%. I'm gonna put out what my requirements are, and some of them may or may not work for you, right? I think in some ways I might have some unique requirements. I might be a little bit nitpicky in some spaces, but not others. So ultimately, you have to pick something that works best for you. Now, that being said, I was looking for some unique features such as having headphone jacks. Psst, I got a secret. On a device that has a 3.5mm headphone jack, you can still have Bluetooth. A rectangular screen, preferably 16:9, user replaceable batteries, but you know, some of those features aren't really realistic here in 2020 and now 2021. Now, if you're wondering about the case that I have on here, it's a cheap case I bought online and has a nice rubbery material, so it feels soft to the touch. It also has a carbon fiber print to it, so aesthetically it looks pretty good. I think it fits the phone pretty well. And not only that, another thing I really like about this case is this notch over here around the power button. And what this allows me to do is, if I'm holding this with my right hand, my thumb naturally falls under that position, so I can hit the on button to turn on the screen. So unlike the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, there's no virtual home key that's underneath the screen. So I can just hit this button, turn on the screen, and then authenticate with my password. I don't use any fingerprint reader. I don't use facial recognition to log in. I just use a normal password. So the Xperia 5 II has a lot of features that look good on paper, but how does that translate to reality? Let's jump in and find out.